Good morning, everyone. I'm Matt, and this is the start of our Wyoming backcountry discovery route trip. And we've actually been on the road already for 5 days. I didn't really film any of that. We did a little bit of off-roading in Idaho and Utah. Managed to find a couple little cool spots, Providence Canyon outside of Logan, and then outside of Soda Springs for the 4th of July. Had quite a bit of fun. Met up with my friend Eric. Anyway, now we are here in Wyoming. We're just north of the town of Baggs, and I found this cool little spot last night. This is called Detention Dam 1392 number 2. Yeah, it's a cool little spot, not too far off the main road. So we camped here last night, already been for a little swim in the water, which was quite nice. And this morning we're going to meet up with, I think, 5 other guys in the town of Baggs. Now, I know Eric and Gil, but I don't know the other guys we're going with. I think they're all out of St. George. So this will be a little bit different trip than I'm used to, just because normally, I go with a bunch of friends, and this time I'm going with a bunch of people I don't know. So we have 8 days planned for this backcountry discovery route, which should make, I think, for kind of short travel days, at least shorter than what I'm used to doing. Poured rain on us last night, but our gear was set up pretty well, so we didn't get wet. Yeah, looking forward to this trip here. Got a little prairie dog right there. There he goes. All right, I'll set up the cameras and the drone and bring you guys along on this trip. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time. Wyoming's a new place that I haven't really explored before. Looking forward to exploring some new ground here in the Midwest. Well, good morning, guys. We were awakened this morning at about 5 a.m. with the sounds of a grapple skidder driving through our camp. Nature. It's amazing. Yeah, I really don't care. It's 5 in the morning on a Sunday morning in a national forest, though, and right outside of our tent in a designated campsite, we got this guy. Guess I'd rather see the forests managed than see them burn. It just does seem a little odd on a Sunday morning right inside of a campsite to have that going on. Anyway, we made it in last night. We're at about 10,000 feet at the Rob Roy Reservoir. It was a little bit cold last night. It got down pretty close to freezing, but looking forward to another day out on the trail. I think if this guy, if this skidder departs the area, I'll head down to the water and take a quick dip in there. It's going to be pretty cold, but it's also going to feel pretty good. So Eric, what do you think?
I'm going to greedy with this pick.
I want to speak to a manager. Hi, my name's Karen. There was a grapple skidder driving through our campsite last night. I do enjoy camping next to water just because it gives me the opportunity to wash all the dust off after a long day, and same thing in the morning. I like to take a quick dip in the water before the day gets started. This is gonna be cold though. We're at about 10,000 feet here. There's still snow melting off the hillsides around here. Don't know what temperature the water is here, but it's probably not going to be terribly pleasant.
There's probably something.
No. I mean, I'm 100% game to try, but I'm telling you, I'm not getting through it. The screen one. Oh, that was a good one. I was not looking. You got me. That was a good one.
Our land yachts aren't going to make it.
I'm telling you, the Dodgers got it. All we got to do is go for it.
Why do you say that?
Just because I want to see when you guys get stuck.
Ben, tell us about the mosquitoes.
I hate them.
That's a clear and concise message for everyone. Get the skeeter fan going.
But
Yeah, they could eat flies or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do we need mosquitoes? Well, we spent last night at the Bow River campground, and nice campground. No complaints there, but these are easily the worst clouds of mosquitoes I've ever experienced in any campground. I mean, we've done a few trips to Alaska too. It's bad up there as well, but holy cow, man. It's just never ending. No amount of bug spray. We kind of did some, we got a good hot smoky fire going, which helped, but anyway, the weather was nice, so no complaints there. All right, so Bow River campground today. We're gonna head up to north to, I think it's Elk River this morning, and then Alcova Reservoir would be our destination today. So yesterday was, some hilly, rocky roads, stuff like that, but not too terribly long of a day. Today should be more, wide open gravel roads and stuff. So looking forward to that, putting some miles down. The geocache is up by the cemetery, so it's not here.
Plaster of some kind.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a big one right there.
This is the best part of the
I
trip.
agree, but wow. This is so much fun, actually. Yeah! That was the highlight of last night.
Sitting around the campfire, engaging in a rousing game of pistachio nut.
We should call it something like
say pistachio nuts, that's for sure.
Hot stash.
like nut can.
Nut can.
That's a good hot
Nut
Why don't we call it
can.
nut can?
Should we play a game of nut can tonight?
2 at a time is a bad idea.
Well, we spent the night last night at the Alcova Reservoir. Much nicer than the night before because there's no mosquitoes here. Actually, the water in the reservoir is nice and warm. Everyone's making some breakfast. And today we're going to stop by Independence Rock when we leave here, and then we're going to drive along the Beaver Rim, and there's some real scenic overlooks. That'll be a lot of fun. And then our destination tonight should be Atlantic City. All right, we're at Independence Rock here. This is, I guess, a stop where people on the Oregon Trail stopped and carved their name into a granite rock here. Well, it's cool because we can actually walk out to the rock and see some of the inscriptions and plaques. So we're gonna go check that out. Well, while we were at Independence Rock, the rest of the group didn't really have any interest in climbing it. We did. So we went ahead and climbed to the top of Independence Rock and basically walked along the length of it. And so the rest of those guys went ahead to the Beaver Rim Trail, and we are now catching up to them. That shouldn't be a problem. Our preferred travel speed is a little bit faster than those guys. I think probably at this point we're around 20 miles behind them or so. And they tend to move fairly slow with quite a few extra stops. So we'll catch up to them here in an hour or two.
I see it somewhere around. Oh, I guess I see it somewhere around.
Well, we ended up spending the last night in Lander rather than the campground. We got there and the mosquitoes were kind of getting a little dense again. We'd already had enough of mosquitoes for this trip, so we took a shortcut to Lander, spent the night there, and met back up with the group this morning at the campground just outside of Atlantic City. And we're on the trail again. We kind of broke off a little bit, and we're exploring this mine right here, just outside of South Pass. We actually walked around all this already, found a cabin and equipment shed and a capped off mine shaft down here. So we're gonna go take a closer look at that. Then we'll be headed into South Pass City after that. I think there's some mines and cool stuff to see in there too. So anyway, that's the start of the day. Our destination is Lander again. So we basically left all of our stuff at the hotel, and we're gonna go spend the night at the same hotel tonight. Alright, after some discussion, we think this is a winch. Yoked up an animal right here, and this is a winch drum. Alright, we are at the Rainbow Cliffs just north of Lander. Pretty awesome spot. So we met up with the rest of the guys this morning at Lander, and a lot of them wanted to follow kind of an alternate route that was mostly pavement. Eric and I didn't want to do pavement, so we're out here on this awesome gravel road. It's really just like sweeping corners and nice wide open gravel. Not a lot of washboard or anything, so we're making pretty good time on that, and we'll be headed out to see some cool things today. Yeah, and we're actually going to do 2 legs of the BDR in one day today, so it's going to be a long day, a lot of miles, but since it's mostly wide open desert out here, shouldn't be too big of a problem. Start of another day out here on the Wyoming BDR. We spent the night just north of Meadowlark Lake, down there, at the Sitting Bull campground. Actually a really nice campground, a little pricey for the 2 trucks. I think it was 33 bucks for the site for the night, but it was a nice campground. So it rained like crazy. Rain, thunder, and lightning all night long. 6-7 hours, something like that. Fortunately, all of our stuff stayed dry. Rest of the group's taken a little while longer to get everything packed up. They're dealing with some wet gear, but it'll be interesting to see how the trail's affected. If we're tearing up the trail because of mud, we'll probably end up bypassing some of that, but hopefully not. You know, like I said, it rained all night, but it seems like just the top inch or two of the road is wet. So yeah, looking forward to another day out on the trail. Well, despite all the rain last night, the road's actually in really good condition and we're not causing any damage to it. There's a lot of embedded rock on it, so we're able to stick to the track without doing any bypasses, and the scenery up here is just amazing. Well, we spent the night last night here at Medicine Lodge Lake. This is a pretty epic campground. It's right here on the lake, obviously, and it's nice and quiet. Not a lot of mosquitoes, and no thunder and lightning and rain last night, which was also super nice. So got up early this morning, did some swimming out here in the lake. It is definitely cold. I will say this is my favorite campsite of the trip. It's just, you know, it's awesome. Really scenic. You know, out here early in the morning, you can hear the wild horses over there whinnying, and there's fish you can see swimming in the lake here. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful spot. So this is going to be our last day on the trail, and if all goes according to plan, we're going to hit the Montana border today and we can start our trek back home.
Hey Chris, I think you got to get some 35s when we get down into town.
Hey guys, future Matt here, out in my shop. I thought I'd do a little bit of narrating to explain what was going on here. So on the last day, we chose to take an alternate expert route. There was a couple of springs that made for some really muddy, marshy areas. And this particular one here was quite long and you know, had lots of really soft spots in the middle of the trail. So we elected to send me first. The Nissan is by far the lightest vehicle in this group, and I already had my tires aired down to around 12 psi, so I was really set up for it. I managed to navigate my way through there with no problem. Didn't have any issues with it. Then I got back on the radio and let everyone know, hey, the line I took's a good one, go ahead and follow that. Greg in the blue Dodge followed me through, had no problems at all. Chris in his brown Dodge got just a few feet off the line at one point and just buried his Dodge. Now, most of the time when you're recovering a stuck vehicle like that, you should pull it out the way that it went in. And in this case, you know, the solid ground was just a few feet in front of the Dodge and we had to go forward anyway. So I elected to pull the Nissan back out there and hook up to him with a strap and try and pull him forward. Now, unfortunately, the grassy ground was really soft and wet. I didn't want to tear up the ground. And although I do own a kinetic recovery rope, I did not bring it with me. I really didn't anticipate we'd be running into this kind of situation on this trip. So all I had was a regular tow strap. And I pulled on it as hard as I felt comfortable doing. But even after 5 or 6 pulls, it was obvious we weren't making any progress in the forward direction. My Nissan's just not heavy enough to pull a big 1-ton diesel pickup like that. So we flipped the Nissan around and attempted to use the winch to winch the front of the Dodge sideways up onto solid ground. That also didn't work. The Nissan just kept sliding uphill. So we disconnected the Nissan, hooked up Gil's Jeep from the rear with the winch, and attempted to pull the Dodge backwards. Even with the Jeep parked on the concrete blocks, it was causing the Jeep to slide forward. So then we hooked up Steve's Jeep to the back of Gil's, and with the 2 Jeeps anchored together, that was enough for Gil's winch to recover the Dodge in reverse. Once Chris was free from the mud, he adjusted his line a few feet to the right, gave it the beans, and managed to hammer through there without any more difficulties.
go up in flames, the volcano, and back, and the night sky will go black. Points out wish to the rich. Fire sets fire too. Standing still, the old crow flew into the side of the world. Just don't look back.
All right, Gil, camera's rolling.
Camera's rolling?
Yeah, words of wisdom.
We're not.
You're right. What are the words of wisdom? We made it.
This is the end of, let's see, you probably drove about 1,000 to drive 800. We drove about 800 to do 800. So, yeah, we got a lot of cumulative miles, and here we are sitting there by the Crow Indian Reservation, but you can't enter. There's actually a force field that goes right through here. We tried to go through, but You hit it every time.
Actually, I think the best day of travel, the best views and the most exciting parts of the trail were all today.
Yeah.
It really